We're going to try out this QuickTime Player screen recording capability, recording. So here we go. We're going to do some playing around with Audacity. So what first, actually, it's recording now, but I'm going to stop that and then we will get a noise profile of the room. I'll delete the track here and then I'll click and record 10 seconds of room audio. Okay, so now we have that. We'll hit Command B and we'll get a label track. So then we go home and we can start some recording. I am in a room here with no sound dampening or anything. There's actually an attic fan going. So everything will be taken care of afterwards here. So we'll record a little bit of what I'm doing here. I'm going to show some editing techniques, maybe to take out some clicks that people could use, and then a simple mastering of the track to what would basically be ACX standards. So, all right, we have a few 22 seconds of audio, so we'll stop it there. Okay, so now we have a track. And if we zoom in, we can see some noise, some breaths and whatnot. So first thing might be sometimes you just want to do a noise reduction. So if you're not going to edit it at all and get your noise sample, then you come over here to this track and redo it and actually do the noise reduction in Audacity. And you can see some of it was cleaned up. Some of these have breaths or noise or what have you in it, that these areas here. As you can see, some of the clean areas, like this area particularly, once the noise is reduced, it's basically down to a clean silence. So you can come into these areas under these conditions, highlight that, go home, and I have a quick key for silence, and there you go. And you can take out that, take out whatever you'd like. So let's just play around and take out these sort of breathy looking things. And I'm just overriding those with silence. And here's kind of a clicky zone that I don't want. So we'll take that out just for fun. And there's another one. And we'll take that out. And so you can actually zoom in and out. Command scroll wheel zooms in and out. You can put your cursor where you want it, like on this little click here. And I want to zoom into that click. I just keep my mouse over that click and I go zooming right into it. And another tool, if you want to play around, you can zoom in, zoom way in, and you'll see that I have the asterisk picked up here so that the multi-tool mode is selected. And when I move in different places, it's a selector there. When I'm up higher, it's then becomes a pencil in here. And when you're zoomed in to where you can see the data points, you can actually draw out those waveforms if you'd like. You could draw in a different waveform if you wish. If you don't like that, you just keep drawing. So basically, you can clean up lots of little strange things if you'd like that way as well. So that click's now gone, or whatever that was. Or again, once the noise is reduced, it's basically, since my room tone is down so low, it's basically silence. So you would never hear any strange gaps that, hear a room buzz or anything like that, and then with any added silence. So you got to be careful that your noise is low enough that you're not hearing some hum in the words. So then we've got a patch of, say, it's cleaned up. And then in Audacity, there's some different tools. And what I like to do is I will generate a tone. And I set it, about the dB level at 440. It doesn't matter what the tone actually is or what scale it is. It's just I set it at the ends to give it the editing endpoints, because some of the tools I use will actually sort of fade in, fade out sort of effects. So in order to eliminate that, let me get these closer here. I'll delete that out. So now I'll duplicate this track with Command D. And that way I have a clean track. And I'll put another. You want label tracks in between so that they don't transfer. If two tracks are next to each other, you're going to get any edits will go on all the tracks that don't have label tracks between them. So you be careful to always, if you want to save a track that you're going to later shorten or edit out, you have to have a label track in between, just a dummy one. Don't have to have any labels in it. And then you can then edit anything below that or above that, for that matter, and it'll only isolate to that track. So here we will run the stack of basically a chain in Audacity, a equalizer, compression, declick, equalize again, and then normalization. So that's all set up. So actually we can look at that if I can remember. Let's see. Tracks. Well, let's see. So if I double click on that. All right. Okay, where? I don't do it very often, so I've kind of lost track of tracks. What is it? Oh, edit chains. That's what I keep saying. So here's the chains that I've set up, and so you can set up a sequence of chains that. Oops. Something glitching on that. Edit. File edit chains. Sorry about that. So we go to this and the name. Trying to get anyways. So I've got declickers I run, an equalization I run, two compressions, normalize, equalization, and then normalize again with different settings each time. So you got to tune that for what you want. So hotkey there brings up the apply chains. Now I will apply it to this current project, and it's really, I've just selected that one track, and so that is now running that set of chains, they call it, on this track. And depending on the length of the track, it can take some time. So this probably will take a couple minutes to run through every single sequence in the track. So that does the first declicker. I've already denoised it. Did noise reduction on that. That's easy. You just select your noise profile off that first track, and then you've got a snapshot of that for all subsequent tracks, and then it's just a couple keyboard clicks and you run that noise reduction. So you're working with a clean, noise-free track. You can leave it if you want to do this with the noise, but your noise gets amplified once you master and all that anyways. So there it is. So there's the finalized track. And you can see what I was talking about over here with the fade in sort of effect. So if this is not just a dummy tone out here, it will do this ramping of your actual audio. So what you want to do then, and you can see in between, I don't have major increases after the noise reduction where that stack has jacked up the noise when it does its compression and all the rest of those features. So each end is simply just cut off, or I pop silence in there because the noise floor is basically zero anyways. You'll never ever see the effects of that. So different ways to zoom in, Command 1, go to the end of the track and all that good stuff. So there's many things you can do in Audacity. So there now I have a track, and maybe I want to say, all right, let's tighten all that up. You've edited, outtakes or whatever, or gaps are wrong, so you can shorten that up and set it up to different timing gaps or whatever. Don't want a gap any bigger than 1 second for this. So, well, turns out I didn't have a gap bigger than 1 second in that. So, but anyways, that's a quick um, zoom through, kind of a quick uh, use of Audacity to edit audio clean and without much hassle. And again, that how you set that up for your noise floor is critical. So you hack, because you don't want to be taking too much out when you denoise things. But once you have it clean, then you have a lot of options in playing with those clicks and spaces and gaps and breaths or whatever you want to take out. So that's that. Okay, so here is the audio that was recorded during the demo and after it's mastered. What I'm doing here, I'm going to show some editing techniques, maybe to take out some clicks that people could use, and then a simple mastering of the track to what would basically be ACX standards. So, all right, we have a few 22 seconds of audio, so we'll stop it there.